Yeah, thanks, David. I think you've done a really nice job laying out the broad spectrum in which customer networks really have changed the way we operate, from the inception of new products and services, which is really the focus of our work, really the innovation work for developing products for growth, but then also the brand engagement, really. And we see this across the board. So I think one of the interesting examples that I'd love to talk about is some collaboration that we've been involved with recently with GE around what they call the Ecomagination Challenge. I think you showed some examples of open competition, and I think this is an interesting example of a combination of something that is both to develop a new product and service, as well as create brand engagement. So GE has pledged $200 million to come up with new ideas in the area of sustainability of products, specifically in this case for the smart grid. And so we opened an online challenge for the best ideas. I think the lesson there is also that whenever you do this, some ideas are not intuitively persuasive. So there was a gentleman who suggested that we train whales the way we train farm animals to haul cargo ships, which I thought had some issues. But there were, thousands of ideas that were really thoughtful, and from thinking about using skyscrapers for waterfalls in cities to produce aquatic power to really specific ideas from inventors and professionals. And what's interesting here is, so GE has pledged this money together with Kleiner Perkins and other venture capitalists, and they're going to use their entire skills to actually bring these products to market. What we've also done in that case, as in many film festivals, there's a jury and there's a people's choice, so we actually exposed many of the ideas, and we had the people vote as well as a jury of experts vote. And I think that is sort of an interesting hybrid of innovation from the perspective of new products and services, and then also the brand engagement aspect.
And what have been the steps? So has it gotten to the stage yet where there are ideas you're putting out there and you're engaging a broader audience who maybe hasn't submitted an idea themselves?
So the first phase of the challenge is over. The winners were selected. We actually now, because of the success, started a second challenge specifically focused on green homes, on smart homes. So for those of you who have figured out a way to save energy at home or turn your barn into a power plant, you still have 5 more days to submit your ideas. For the first challenge, though, basically now, this is always what happens for all of us who've worked in a startup. Yeah. There's the days of infinite energy and possibilities, and then there's the days of the lawyers, right?
Okay.
And so
that's the real jury. It really narrows it down.
So I think then comes the step of figuring out who's going to make money, how, and what is the legal and intellectual framework. So
sure. Great. There's another interesting project I saw that Frog is working on, looking at how mobile technologies can have a positive social impact. I think in a lot of different parts of the world. The Mobile Mandate Partnership you're working on?
That's right. Yeah, that's a partnership that we have with UNICEF. And we really believe that mobile technology have the potentials to create fundamental change around the world. Mobile technologies obviously are the easiest way to tap into a social network. And we've all seen how mobile technologies have changed our world in the last 10, 15 years. But I think it's even more powerful in the context of emerging markets. So we've done things.
They've sort of leapfrogged from not having a digital connection to doing it
exactly
with their phone. They have a laptop and a PC.
So
phase.
Let's take financial services. In a market like Kenya, a service called M-Pesa was launched, and there only about 20% of the population has access to a branch in the city sense, and yet they have a subscriber penetration of 70%. And the service in only 4 years has reached half of that, so let's say 35% of the population. We're doing a lot of those types of work with mobile health as well, where in South Africa and some areas that are really devastated by the HIV epidemic, we've used mobile technologies to increase the engagement with the national HIV hotline in South Africa. So we can really bring services to emerging markets at an extremely low cost through mobile devices to increase health, to increase productivity, and are very active there with UNICEF and with the World Economic Forum as well.
And I also saw you have something called Frog Mob. You're getting other folks to sort of help you with your own brainstorming or
yeah, I mean, this is sort of,
insight?
for those of you who use Flickr, that's the best way to describe this is as a really a curated Flickr user group. We started this for our own internal research purposes, so where we basically asked our fellow designers to submit images, let's say, to the topic bikes. And then we realized that sort of visual survey of what's out there is a really interesting place to both immerse yourself in a space, but also to do some research. So we've done this for clients, actually, to talk about things like personal data or the clutter in your home. And we just open it up to the general public and ask them to submit images to a topic. And you know, it creates sort of a visual landscape of what's out there today. So it's kind of, rather than being inundated with data or with words, you sort of start with a visual picture of how we really live our lives. So we have often found that to be meaningful and inspiring.